Hello students, in previous class we already discussed about the Ampere circuital law and its application. Okay, today we are going to discuss about what will happen when in an moving charge is placed in an external magnetic field. That means what is the magnetic force acts on a moving charge. So let us consider what is the magnetic force on a moving charge. Okay, so let us consider here is a current carrying conductor. So as we know, a current carrying conductor is able to produce a magnetic field surrounding it. That means this current carrying conductor carries current in upward direction, have a magnetic field surrounding it B, that is inward. So when I placed a charge Q close to this current carrying conductor or within some point in its surrounding, then it was observed that when the charge is at rest it experiences nothing, but when it provided with some velocity v, then it was observed that experimentally the charge which is moving initially along certain direction with velocity v, where due to this external magnetic field it gets deviated from its path. Its path is generally like this, but it gets deviated from its path. That means, as we know, when a body is in motion, it will remain in its state of motion until and unless an external force acting on it. And as because when the charge particle moves in certain direction with certain velocity, but it was observed that it gets deviated from its path of motion, that means there must be an external force which is acting on it. Clear? Due to which it gets deviated from its path. And it was also observed that due to that external force, the moving charge only gets deviated from its motion of path, from its initial path, but there will be no change in its speed, or there is no change in its magnitude of its velocity, only the direction of velocity gets changed. That means the force which is acting on the moving charge is acting on the direction of its velocity. The force acting on it is always perpendicular to that of the direction of its velocity. And it was also experimentally observed that the force which is acting on it due to the external magnetic field is known as the magnetic force. This force is directly proportional to the amount of charge, and also it is directly proportional to the speed of the moving charge. It is also directly proportional to the strength of the external magnetic field, and it was also observed that when the charge is moving parallel to the direction of external magnetic field or in opposite to the direction of external magnetic field, that means when the angle between the velocity of the moving charge and the direction of external magnetic field is 0 or 180, then there will be no effect of the external force on the moving charge. That means the force acting on it will be 0. So experimentally it was obtained that the force is also depends upon the sign of angle between the direction of magnetic field strength and velocity of the charge. So by combining this we can get the magnetic force acting on a moving charge in an external magnetic field is QVB sin theta. Okay, this is the magnitude of what? The magnetic force acting on a charge of quantity Q which is moving in an external magnetic field of strength B with speed V, and the theta is the angle between where theta is the angle between velocity and the magnetic field strength vector. Clear? So this is the expression for the magnetic force acting on a moving charge in an external magnetic field. Clear? So from this we can get in vectorially we can represent the magnetic force on a moving charge is given as Q into V cross V. Clear? This is the expression for magnetic force acting on a moving charge in an external magnetic field, and the direction of the force can be easily obtained by the right hand thumb rule, which is the cross product of the velocity vector and magnetic field strength, or we can obtain it by using right hand palm rule. For example, if here is a magnetic field which is acting inward and here is a charge Q which is moving along this direction with velocity v. So the magnetic field is acting into the plane at this surface and the charge particle is moving upward with velocity v. Then the direction of force can be obtained by using right hand palm rule. Place your thumb along the direction of velocity vector and stretch the fingers of your right hand along the direction of B, magnetic field strength B vector. Then the palm will show the direction of force. So as the charge is moving along upward, thumb is upward and the fingers are stretched into the plane. So this is the palm which will show the direction of magnetic force acting on this charge. So the direction of magnetic force will be this. Clear? Similarly, if here is a charge, magnetic field B which is acting inward and there is a charge Q which is moving along this direction with velocity v, then what is the direction of force? Placing my thumb along the direction of velocity and finger towards outward as the force is acting upward, so palm is along this direction, so the magnetic force acting on the charge will be along this direction F M. Clear? So the direction of magnetic force can be obtained by using right hand thumb rule, or we can easily crawl the finger along V cross B. V is towards this, B is upward, so by crawling V cross B, this is B upward, this is V, V cross B in upward direction like this, thumb will show the direction of force. So the direction of magnetic force acting on an moving charge in an external magnetic field by magnitude is this much, or in vectorially we can represent Q into V cross B, and the direction of magnetic force acting on the moving charge will be obtained by using right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule. Clear? So as we already discussed that the force acting on a magnetic force acting on a moving charge is given as Q V B sin theta, where theta is the angle between velocity vector and magnetic field strength, or in case of vector form we can represent this as Q V cross B. So from this we can calculate when theta equal to 0 or pi, that is the velocity vector V vector and B vector magnetic field strength field B vector are in parallel or anti-parallel to each other, the magnetic force acting on the moving charge is 0, as sin 0 equal to sin 180, as sin 0 equal to sin 180 equal to 0. That means when the direction of velocity of moving charge and external magnetic field strength are parallel to each other or anti-parallel to each other, that means theta equal to 0 or pi, the net force is, the magnetic force is acting on the charge is 0. Clear? Similarly, as and again as due to the external magnetic force, the direction of the as due to the external magnetic force, the moving charge gets deviated from its path, but there is no change in its speed. Hence, the direction of magnetic force is always perpendicular to the direction of velocity of the moving charge. Clear? You have to remember this, as due to the external magnetic force the moving charge gets deviated from its path, but there is no change in its speed. Hence the direction of magnetic force is always perpendicular to the direction of velocity of the moving charge. Clear? As the direction of magnetic force is perpendicular to the direction of velocity of the moving charge, this implies the magnetic force is also perpendicular to the direction of displacement of the moving charge. Clear? That means so from this we can write as the magnetic force is perpendicular to the direction of velocity of moving charge. So it also perpendicular to the displacement of moving charge. And as we know, when a force is acting perpendicular to the direction of displacement, then the work done by that force is always zero. Hence work done by magnetic force on a moving charge is always zero, as we know work done equal to F dot S. So this implies your work done equal to magnetic force F S cos theta. What is theta? Always the force is perpendicular displacement vector. Perpendicular to what? The displacement vector. So this will become F M S cos 90, which is equal to 0. So work done by magnetic force during the motion of a charge is always 0. You have to remember this point. And the force is 0 when the angle between the magnetic field strength and velocity of the charge is 0 or 180. Clear? So this is the condition how magnetic force acts on a moving charge in an external magnetic field, and what is its value, how the force is 0 when the direction between B and V vector is 0 or 180, and how to find out the force direction by using right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule. Clear? So there are three, as we already know, the force, magnetic force acting on the charge will given a Q V B sin theta in magnitude or scalar form, and in vector form we can write F vector equal to Q into V cross B. So from this, when theta equal to 0 or 180, we know the magnetic force equal to 0, but when theta equal to 90, what will be the expression for magnetic force? Fm equal to Q V B. The magnetic force acting on the moving charge is maximum when the magnetic field strength and velocity are at 90 degree to each other. That means when the magnetic fields are into the surface like this, this is B into the surface, and here is a point charge Q which is moving like this, V. So as V is along this board and the magnetic field are perpendicular to this board directed inward, so the angle between V and B is 90. So the maximum magnetic force acting on the charge will be QVB, which is along by right hand thumb rule. Velocity is along this direction, magnetic field inward, so force will be acting along this direction, perpendicular to the direction of velocity. So as each and every instant the magnetic force is always perpendicular to the direction of instantaneous velocity. Here the force is acting along this direction, that's why from this point the particle or charge particle gets deviated along this direction as force is acting along this direction. From this point again this is the direction of velocity, again from this the force is acting perpendicular to this direction, that's why it's get deviated from this direction. So gradually we observe that the particle starts moving in a circular path in the external magnetic field, as always the magnetic force acting on it is perpendicular to the direction of tangential in instantaneous velocity. It's the force is acting always perpendicular to the direction of instantaneous velocity, and we know when the speed of this velocity or the magnitude of this velocity remain constant as the force is always acting perpendicular to its direction, that's why the charge particle starts moving in an uniform circular motion within an external magnetic field. When the angle between magnetic field strength and velocity vector is 90, then a charge particle starts revolving in a circular path executing uniform circular motion as the speed of the particle remain constant and its direction only changes time to time as the magnetic force always acts perpendicular to the instantaneous velocity direction. So the charge particle starts moving in a circular path executing uniform circular motion. So from this, as we know, to move in a circular path, in a circular path, or we can write like this. So from this we conclude that when B and V are perpendicular to each other, the charge particle starts revolving when the angle between V vector and B vector is 90. The charge particle starts moving in a circular path executing uniform circular motion as the magnetic force is always perpendicular to the instantaneous, perpendicular to the direction of velocity of the moving charge. Okay, and as we know, to rotate in a circular path, a centripetal force is necessary. So here the required centripetal force is provided by the gravitational force, provided by the magnetic force. Clear? The required centripetal force is provided by the magnetic force. So simply we can write the centripetal force m v square by r is equal to q v b. That means if here is a magnetic field acting inward of strength b, and a charge particle which is moving here with velocity v having charge q, it will start, the force is acting perpendicular to this direction fm, and it will start moving in a circular path like this. Clear? This is the radius, this is the center O, this is the circular path, this is the direction, and this is the direction of magnetic force. So from this we can calculate the radius of the circular path along which the charge particle starts revolving, executing uniform circular motion will be how much? Taking r here and taking this along this direction, mv square by QVB. This implies R equal to mv by QB. This is the expression for what? Radius of the circular path. As the velocity of the charge particle increases, the radius increases. If the mass of the charge particle increases, the radius increases. If the charge increases, the radius decreases. If the magnetic field strength increases, the radius of the circular path decreases. Here m equal to mass of the charge. Okay, m equal to mass of the charge particle, and all of this is the speed, this is charge of the charge particle, this is magnetic field strength, and this is the radius. Okay, you have to remember this formula. So from this, if r is the radius, the total path of the circular path is 2 pi r, then what is the time period? As we know, the charge particle starts revolving along the circular path, so the time period of the charge is how much? T equal to total distance covered by, or to complete a complete cycle by the charge particle is the total distance of the circular path, which is equal to 2 pi r divided by velocity of the charge particle, that is v, will gives us the time period. So from this, by using the value of r I am putting here, we can find out the time period t equal to how much? 2 pi, in place of r I can write mv by qb divided by v. So v will cancel out, so this implies time period t will become 2 pi m by qb. So the time period of the charge particle is independent of velocity of the charge particle. Either velocity increase or decrease, the time period of the charge particle remains same. So from this, we can find out the frequency as t equal to 2 pi m by qb, which is the time period. So this implies frequency f equal to 1 by t, which is equal to qb divided by 2 pi m. Okay, and what is the angular frequency? Omega. As this is f, so the angular frequency omega will be how much? You have to remember all these formulas. As f equal to qb divided by 2 pi m, this implies omega angular frequency equal to 2 pi f, which is equal to qb divided by 2 pi m into 2 pi will get cancelled, so omega equal to qb by m. This is the expression for angular frequency, this is the expression for time period, this is the expression for frequency, and this is the expression for radius of the circular path along which the charge particle will circulate, executing uniform circular motion. These all things happen only when the direction of magnetic field strength and velocity of the moving charge are at perpendicular to each other. Clear? And from this we can calculate the kinetic energy of the charge particle, as kinetic energy can be given as half mv square. So here we can write the v, velocity will be how much? qbr by m. So from this we can get velocity of the charge particle will be qbr by m. This is the velocity of the charge particle. So using this in place of v square, we will also get the value of kinetic energy of a moving charge in an external magnetic field which is executing circular motion when magnetic field strength and velocity of the charge are perpendicular to each other. Clear? So as we discussed that if the charge particle is moving in an external magnetic field and the direction of velocity of the charge particle and the magnetic field strength are at 90 degree to each other, then the charge particle gets trapped within that external magnetic field and it starts rotating in a circular path and executing uniform circular motion, and the radius of the circular path will be this much, and the time period of the particle which is revolving in the circular path will be this much, and the frequency is qb by 2 pi m. Similarly the angular frequency will be qb by m, and similarly we can calculate the kinetic energy of the charge particle. Clear? So from this we conclude what? If the magnetic field strength and the velocity of a moving charge are parallel to each other or anti-parallel to each other, then there will be no effect of magnetic force on the moving charge particle. But when the angle is 90 degree, the charge particle starts revolving in an circular path. So in short we can write the magnetic force on a moving charge can be written as Q V B sin theta, or in vector form it can be written as Q into V cross B. Clear? Here the charge Q is with the sign. That means you have to remember this. Here the charge Q is with the sign. This implies if Q equal to minus E, that means the charge of Q is negative, or simply if Q is negative, then magnetic force Fm equal to minus Q into V cross B. If Q is positive, then the magnetic force will be Q into V cross B. Okay, and if V velocity and B vector are parallel or anti-parallel, then magnetic force equal to 0. Clear? Next point, if V and B, the velocity vector and magnetic field strength direction are perpendicular, then the charge particle starts revolving in a circular path in the external magnetic field. Okay, where radius of the circular path is given as mv by qb. The time period for one cycle or the time period is given as how much? 2 pi r by v. 2 pi r by v, which is equal to how much? 2 pi m v divided by qbv. So it will become how much? Vv will cancel, 2 pi m by qb. Time period equal to 2 pi m by qb. Frequency will be how much? 1 by t, that is equal to qb by 2 pi m. And angular frequency omega equal to 2 pi f. This implies omega equal to 2 pi qb by 2 pi m, which is equal to qb by m. So you have to remember these expressions. Clear? The force can be given as in terms of qbv sin theta scalar form, and in vector form it will be q into v cross b. And here the charge q is with the sign, that means if q is negative then force will be minus q v cross b. If force is q is positive then it will be plus q cross v. If okay, if v and b are parallel or anti-parallel, then force is 0. There is no magnetic force acting on a moving charge if the direction of velocity of the moving charge and magnetic field strength are parallel or anti-parallel. If V and B are perpendicular, then the charge particle starts moving or revolving in a circular path in the external magnetic field, where the radius of the circular path is this much, the time period for the circular motion is this much, and frequency, and this will be the angular frequency. Clear? So this is how the moving charge get affected when it moves in an external magnetic field, or how the magnetic force acts on a moving charge. When theta is 0 or 180, there will be no force, and when theta is 90, the charge starts moving in circular path. And in all the cases, whatever may be the angle between the velocity direction and magnetic field direction, but always the magnetic force acts perpendicularly to the direction of velocity. Clear? So here we have to discuss one more point. If a charge particle of charge q is travel through a potential difference V volt, and then enter into a external magnetic field B, which acts perpendicular to the direction of motion of the charge, then the charge particle starts revolving in a circular path with radius r is given as we know r equal to mv by qb. Clear? Here mv is the momentum of the charge particle, as we already discussed here. Here is a charge particle which passed through a potential difference. Here is a point and here is another point. Between these 2 points, the charge particle travel like this, and here is a potential difference of V volt. So when the charge travel from this end to this end, let it be as higher V, it will be at lower. So it loses its potential energy by an amount what? The total potential difference from this end to this end is V, and the charge is moving along this direction, higher potential to lower potential. So the total potential energy loses by this charge from moving from this end to this end is QV. And when the charge particle enter at this end, there is a magnetic field which act perpendicular to the direction of motion. So here it will gain some velocity, and when it enter this point end, it will, there is a magnetic field B which acts perpendicular to the direction of motion. Then the charge particle starts revolving. So as here we can consider that the total amount of potential energy lost by the charge particle will be converted into the kinetic energy, because as it travels through the potential difference, the charge particle will get accelerated and it will gain some kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy will be equal to how much? The electrical potential energy. This implies half m v square will be equal to q into v. This v is volt. Okay, this is capital V, volt, like this. Okay, and this is velocity. Okay, so from this we can write mv square equal to 2qv. This is the potential difference. This implies m, or we can write simply, not like that, the kinetic energy equal to how much? The change in potential energy, or here we can write the kinetic energy K equal to Q into potential difference V. Okay, as we know, this is the momentum. What is the relation between momentum and kinetic energy? We know momentum equal to P equal to 2 into mass of the particle into kinetic energy under root. This implies you can write momentum mv equal to 2m. In place of ek, you can write how much? Q into v. Q into capital V under root. So what will be the radius? R equal to, in place of mv, momentum of the charged particle will be written as 2m into kinetic energy. This is the relation between momentum and kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? The loss in potential energy, that is qv. So this will become mv equal to how much? 2m into qv under root. So we can write 2m qv. Here v is the potential difference through which the charge is travelling, divided by qb root over. This is the expression for what? The radius of the circular path in which a charged particle is revolving when it enters into the magnetic field after travelling through a potential difference of v volt. You have to remember this formula. It will be convenient for you to use in some numerical solutions. Clear? So this is the formula for the radius of the circular path when a charged particle is travelling through a potential difference of v volt. Here this is the potential difference v. Okay, you have to remember this is not velocity, this is potential difference. Okay, capital V. And here this is velocity. Like this, this is velocity, this is potential difference. Clear? You have to remember this. Okay. So this is how, when a charged particle moves in an external magnetic field, how it's get affected by the magnetic force, and it have a large number of applications in our day-to-day life. Due to this, when a charged particle enter in an external magnetic field at an angle perpendicular to it, that means the velocity of the moving charge is right angle to the direction of external magnetic field. Then the charged particle get trapped in that external magnetic field and it starts rotating in a circular path. That means due to this phenomena, there is a very interesting phenomena appear in the south and north pole of Earth, that is known as aurora borealis or the northern lights or southern lights. It will be a very interesting phenomena generally observed during the night hours at the sky of north pole and south pole. Okay. So now let us discuss when a moving charge enter into a magnetic field at any angle theta. That means here is a magnetic field which is acting in this direction. The strength of the magnetic field is D, and the charge particle is traveling in the external magnetic field making an angle theta with the direction of magnetic field with velocity v. Clear? Initially we already discussed that when the magnetic field are along the direction of velocity or opposite to the direction of velocity, the force will be 0. That means if the magnetic field acts like this and the charge particle q moving along this direction, then the magnetic force action is 0. And also if the charge particle move along this direction, then if either it is parallel or anti-parallel, the magnetic force is 0. And if the magnetic fields and velocity are in perpendicular direction, in magnetic field acts into the plane and the charge q moves along this direction, the angle will be 90 degree, and here the net force, magnetic force will be maximum, that is qvb, which acts perpendicular to the direction of velocity, and the charge particle starts revolving in a circular path. Now we have to consider if the direction of velocity and external magnetic field are at an angle theta to each other. Here is the charge particle q which traveling with velocity v at an angle theta with respect to the direction of external magnetic field. So in this case, the velocity of the charge particle has two components. One is along the direction of external magnetic field, that will be how much? V cos theta, and another one will be perpendicular to the direction of external magnetic field, which have component V sin theta. Okay, so in this case, due to V cos theta, as the component V cos theta is along the direction of external magnetic field B, so due to V cos theta there will be no effect of magnetic force on the charge, as in this case both are parallel. This is the direction of V, this is the direction of V, parallel and parallel. F magnetic is 0. So due to V cos theta there will be no effect or no magnetic force acting on the charge particle. But as there is another component V sin theta which is perpendicular to the magnetic field, in this case, as the magnetic field is perpendicular to the direction of velocity, there will be a force acting on the charge particle which will be equal to qvb. So here the V sin theta component of the net velocity of the charge, moving charge, acting perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. That's why due to the component V sin theta, the charge particle starts revolving in a circular path. And as there is another component of the velocity which is acts parallel to the magnetic field, due to the component V cos theta, the charge particle starts moving linearly along the direction of velocity V cos theta. Clear? That's why due to this component V sin theta, it's try to move in a circular path, and due to the component V sin theta, it try to move in a linear path along the horizontal direction. That's why the resultant effect will be a new motion in which the charge particle starts revolving, that will be in helical structure. The charge particle will move like this. Okay, the charge particle will start moving in the external magnetic field like this. Okay, this path is known as an helix. So when the angle between the direction of velocity of the charge and external magnetic field is anything except than theta equal to 0, 180 or 90, then the charge particle starts moving in a helical path. And here the radius of this helical path, if this is the axis of the helical path, this will be the radius of the helical path. So the radius of the helical path RH will be due to what? The component V sin theta. So we know in a circular path or in an external magnetic field, the radius will be mv by qb, and in this case the radius of the helical path will be m into v. In place of v, which component is responsible for the circular path? V sin theta, so it will be v sin theta divided by qb. This is the expression for what? Radius of the helical path in which the charged particle starts moving in an external magnetic field. And here is another term related. Here the time period will be how much? T equal to 2 pi m by qb, as the time period is independent of velocity. So there will no effect on the time period of the charged particle which is revolving in the external magnetic field. And there is another term which is known as pitch of helix. You have to remember these formulas. This is the time period. What is pitch of helix? pH. So the pitch of helix is known as the linear distance travelled by the charged particle during one time period. Okay, that means due to v sin theta component, the charged particle starts revolving in a circular path, and at the same time due to v cos theta component, the charged particle travelling linearly along the horizontal direction. That means the distance covered by the charged particle with the component of the velocity v cos theta along horizontal direction in one time period. That means the time period required to complete one cycle by the charged particle, and during that period what is the linear distance covered by that charged particle due to the velocity v cos theta? That linear distance is known as what? Pitch of helix. So pitch of helix will be how much? This will be the velocity along the horizontal direction, that is v cos theta, into the time period of the charged particle. This will be the linear distance given by obtained by the charged particle along the horizontal direction. So this implies the pitch of helix will become how much? V cos theta. In place of time period we can write 2 pi m by qb. So this will be the expression for pitch of helix. Okay, so when the charged particle travelling in an external magnetic field at an angle theta, where theta is the angle between the direction of velocity of the charged particle and external magnetic field, then due to one component v sin theta, the charged particle starts revolving in a circular path, and due to the component v cos theta, the charged particle moves in a horizontal direction linearly. That's why the resultant path of the charged particle will be in helix form. The radius of the helix will be this much, and the pitch, that means the linear distance travelled by the charged particle in one time interval, will be known as pitch, that will be this much, v cos theta 2 pi m by qb. Clear? This is how a charged particle gets affected when it's travel in an external magnetic field. Okay. Okay, so we can write it here. When a charged particle moves in an external magnetic field where the direction, where the angle between the direction of v vector and velocity v vector of the charge is theta, then the path of the moving charge is helical in nature, where the radius of the helix is r equal to m v sin theta by qb. Clear? This is the radius r of the helix. Clear? Then pitch of helix, this is RH, radius of helix. Pitch of helix. What is pitch of helix? It is the linear distance covered by the charged particle in a single time period. So this will be given as pitch of helix will be how much? The linear component or horizontal component v cos theta into the time period t. This implies it will be v cos theta 2 pi m by qb. Clear? Okay. So now let us discuss a rule to find out the direction of magnetic force acting on a moving charge in an external magnetic field. We already know how to find out the magnetic force direction by using right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule, and here is another rule that was proposed by Fleming, that is known as Fleming's left hand rule. So what is Fleming's left hand rule? So according to Fleming, if we stretch the first finger, middle finger and thumb of our left hand mutually perpendicular to each other like this. This is the first finger, middle finger and thumb of the left hand mutually perpendicular to each other. Then if the direction of first finger point towards the direction of magnetic field, the direction of middle finger point towards the direction of velocity of the charge, then the direction of thumb will shows the direction of magnetic force. Clear? So what is Fleming's left hand rule says? If we placed the first finger, thumb and middle finger of our left hand in such a way that they are mutually perpendicular to each other, then if the direction of first finger shows the direction of magnetic field, the middle finger shows the direction of velocity of the charge, then the direction of thumb will represent the direction of magnetic force. Clear? This is known as what? Fleming's left hand rule. If we place the first finger, thumb and middle finger of our left hand in such a way that they are mutually perpendicular to each other, then if the direction of first finger shows the direction of magnetic field the middle finger shows the direction of velocity of the charge, then the direction of thumb will represent what? The direction of magnetic force. We can use Fleming's left hand rule to find out the direction of magnetic force when a charge is moving in an external magnetic field, or else we can apply the right hand thumb rule or right hand palm rule to find out the direction of magnetic force. Clear?